That evening, I was dining alone at a local restaurant. My solitude was interrupted when Tony Steele, an old acquaintance, walked in. Tony had a peculiar reputation. Despite his good earnings at a bank, he was notorious for borrowing money and never repaying it. Tony spotted me and ambled over, a wide grin splashed across his face. He greeted me cheerfully and took the seat across from me without waiting for an invitation. I could tell he was curious about why I was dining alone. We made small talk, reminiscing about the old days. Tony was the same as ever, charming, witty, and a tad bit arrogant. He spoke about his work at the bank, his recent travels, and his latest exploits. Tony's meal arrived and he ate with gusto. In between bites, he filled the air with anecdotes and jokes. On the other hand, I was nursing a plan. Tony had never borrowed from me, and I wondered how he'd react if the tables were turned. Gathering my courage, I asked Tony to lend me £20. There was a moment of silence as Tony regarded me, a surprised look on his face. Then, he chuckled, reached into his wallet, and handed me the money without a second thought. "I have never borrowed any money from you," Tony said as he leaned back in his chair. "So now you can pay for my dinner." He laughed heartily at his own joke, his eyes twinkling with mischief. I was taken aback but managed a laugh. Tony, the perennial borrower, had turned lender for once, and in his own unique way, he had managed to turn the situation to his advantage. As we finished our meals, Tony continued his stories, his enthusiasm undimmed. I listened, amused and somewhat impressed by his audacity. It was clear that Tony was a character, one who knew how to navigate life on his own terms. When the bill arrived, I handed over the £20 that Tony had given me. He watched, a satisfied smile on his face. It was clear that for Tony, it wasn't about the money. It was about the game, and he had just won a round.